I addicted to technical devices? Addictions and its cycle. The following figure exemplifies the cycle of addiction, in which individuals are caught in an unending online use, bad feelings, aborted attempts to stop using them, and increasing desires. Figure 5. The cycle of addictions adapted to online addictions, own creation. Source: Cycle of Addiction, Recovery Connection, last modified on April 17, 2013. https www.recoveryconnection.com. Cycle of addiction. Online consumption. This stage represents the beginning of the addiction, when people refuge in online behaviors to get a desired result, such as relaxation, euphoria, a way to escape from reality, etc. Although this use may begin informally or for recreational purposes, it has the potential to become more frequent as the need for using it constantly grow. Shame, guilt, and remorse. As a result of the repercussions of their online usage, ignoring obligations, financial problems, etc., consumers may feel shame, guilt, and regret after using them, promising to stop. People may make commitments to stop their usage when they are experiencing feelings of remorse and humiliation. They could acknowledge the negative effects of their abuse and be willing to take back control of their life. Fantasizing about their behaviors. People may experience fantasies or desire for the effects that being online cause. This can happen even after they make the decision to stop. Obsessing about being online. As the fantasies get more intense, people may start to get obsessed on being online. For example, being in a party and wishing going back home to play online games. A strong impulse to be online arises from an overpowering need to feel the enjoyable benefits. Frustration. People may feel helpless and frustrated when they are unable to satisfy their desires. They could make an effort to abstain from being online and break the cycle, which could result in further emotions of anxiety, depression, etc. Warning signs of internet addiction. CA. Activity. Signs of addiction. Guessing game. Duration. 1 hour. The objective of the activity is to increase awareness and understanding of different signs of addictions. Step 1. Prepare cards with the following signs of addictions written on them. Loss of control. Spend more time and energy on the behavior. Difficult management of their daily responsibilities. Preoccupation. Continue with addictions no matter what. Need to increase the time online to achieve the same level of satisfaction. Use internet to escape from problems. Step 2. Divide the participants into 2 groups. Ensure each group has an equal number of participants. Step 3. Explain the rules of the game to all participants. 2 participants per group will pick 1 card without revealing its content to their group. They will then act a story that illustrates the sign written on their card without explicitly stating what the sign is. Their group members will try to guess the sign. After the scenario is acted, allow each group a designated time, for example, 4 minutes, to discuss and come up with their guesses. If the group correctly identifies the sign, they earn 1 point. If after these minutes they do not guess, the other group will have the opportunity to answer and get the point. Step 4. Start the rounds. It is important to rotate the participants for the next round. Ensure that each participant gets a chance to act, even if this means to increase the number of participants acting per round. Step 5. Determine the winner that obtains more points. Step 6. Encourage participants to reflect on each of the signs and discuss strategies for prevention and support. For this, ask them the following questions. Did any of the signs surprise you? Why or why not? How do you think each sign contributes to the development and perpetuation of addiction? What are some of the physical, psychological, and social consequences associated with these behaviors? Have you or someone you know ever experienced any of the signs portrayed in the game? How did it impact you or them? Step 7. Encourage them to read the next sub-chapter, Main Warning Signs. Main warning signs. There are different warning indicators that are present when a person has PUI. These signs often match the DSM-5 and ICD-11 criteria for gaming and gambling disorders. Although both guides focus on these disorders, the criteria they outline can be applied to other behaviors from the PUI umbrella. According to the International Classification of Diseases ICD-11 from the World Health Organization, this disorder is manifested by people are not able to control over gaming, e.g., onset, frequency, intensity, duration, termination, context. People allocate higher importance in playing, to the point that they give preference over everyday activities and other interests in life. Continuation or escalation of gaming despite the generation of negative consequences. The gaming behavior pattern can be episodic, recurrent, or continuous, but it always appears over a long period of time, e.g., 12 months. The gaming behavior is not caused by drug or substance side effects, nor it is caused by another mental illness, such as a manic episode. Gaming is causing significant distress or impairment in social, familiar, professional, educational, or other crucial domains of functioning. Criteria according to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Being preoccupied with playing games. Withdrawal symptoms when the game is not being played. Irritability, anxiety, etc. Tolerance. The need to play games for longer periods of time. Ineffective attempts control gaming. Reduce or stop. Loss of interest and motivation to participate in previous activities because of gaming. Continuation in playing games despite of the problems. Deceiving family members and other people about the amount spent in gaming. Using gaming to relieve or escape negative moods. Endangering or losing relationships, academic and professional opportunities because of gaming. Take a look to the previous signs and compare it with the rest of the behaviors of the PUI umbrella. Do you think all of them match with these signs? Signs of data hoarding. Excessive storage use. When a person constantly runs out of storage space on devices and accounts. Sometimes they purchase additional storage as they do not want to erase things that they do not need anymore. Difficulty finding files. They have a high volume of stored information that makes them struggle to search for specific files. This causes inefficiency and disorganization in their lives. Neglect to delete files. Individuals experience a great dislike of eliminating files due to the worry of losing potentially important information. Even when they are superfluous or no longer needed, they barely carry out digital cleanups or organizing files, allowing digital clutter to get accumulated over time. Accumulation of redundant files. People keep multiple copies of the same file or outdated versions of documents, photos, software, etc. Increased feelings. Digital hoarders feel stressed or anxious only by thinking that they should organize or delete files. They develop an emotional attachment to files, being difficult to be deleted even when they do not have any practical purpose. Disorganized digital environment. Some individuals experience this. Inbox full of unread mails, overflowing email boxes, cluttered desktops, unorganized folders, excessive bookmarks, several apps that they do not longer know what are they useful for, text messages stored for years, disregard cloud storage, hoarding diverse file types. Some people collect a wide variety of content without filtering, for example, memes, videos, documents, etc. Impact on device performance. Devices of digital hoarders get slower due to the excessive amount of stored data. Backup excessiveness. Some individuals create excessive backups of files across multiple devices or cloud services. Avoidance of digital organization. Tools. They hesitate to use software designed to organize digital files due to the overwhelming amount of data. Collection of devices. Some people have an accumulation of previous devices that are obsolete, broken, etc. For example, old mobiles, broken storage devices, unnecessary cables, etc. Denial. It is an important warning sign of internet addiction. Terence Gorski determined some patterns that help individuals recognize denial, which is important for getting out of the addiction cycle. Figure 6. Denial patterns, own creation. Source: Gorski, T. and Grinstead, S. Denial Management Counseling Workbook. Revised. Independence. M.O. Herald House, Independence Press, 2006. Image: Free Vector Bad Habits. Cartoon concept with dangerous drug addict vector illustration. freepik.com. Some examples of these patterns are: absolute denial. Being online is not a problem. Of course, I'm not addicted to my phone. Minimizing. I only gamble at nights. It is not that I spend the whole day doing it. I only spend 4 hours per day online. Avoidance. Why are you asking me about getting online? Don't you see that this is tiring? I would prefer not to speak about my internet hobbies. Can we discuss something else? Rationalizing. Social media is good because I am updated with my friends' lives. I need to be online all the time for my school's works, tasks. Of course, this is not an addiction. It is a necessity. Blaming. I was not looking forward to becoming addict. My friends were the ones who introduced me to online gaming in the first place. If my family were more supportive, maybe I wouldn't feel the need to escape through gambling. If that car accident had not happened to me, my life would have been better. Comparing. I am different as other addicts. I have a job and I take care of my responsibilities. I agree. I watch porn, but I'm not like Steve, who spends hours in porn websites. Compliance. I will reduce my hours online, but only because you are pressuring me. It's not because I have a problem. If that makes you happy, I will go to a few counseling sessions, but do not expect me to change overnight. Manipulation. If you remove my online accounts, I will leave. I will limit my porn consumption, only if you buy me the new gaming console that I want. Flight into health. I feel better. I will skip my next counseling session. I have not gambled in weeks. Maybe I should stop paying for expensive treatments. Recovery by fear. I saw what happened to my brother when he got hooked on porn. I'm not going down that road. I heard Peter got seriously sick from being too much online. I should be careful. Strategic hopelessness. I've tried quitting before, but it never works. I guess I'm just destined to be an addict. Rehab is not a solution for me. I've relapsed so many times. What's the point in even trying? The democratic disease state. Just take a look around. Everybody is addicted to their phones. It is just how the society is. I am not different. I can decide in how to spend my free time. Addressing addicts with denial patterns with improper communication can make the situation worse, increasing their resistance to acknowledge the problem. Some of the bad practices while talking to addicts during their denial are judging their behaviors or reasons, using confrontational or accusatory language, blaming, engaging in arguments that can escalate defensiveness, minimize the issue, accept their behaviors, etc. In order to challenge denial in an effective manner, communication should be supportive, motivational, and empathetic. It should be focused in expressing concern instead of blaming. It is recommended to gently guide them towards self-awareness and openness to looking for help. Activity: reducing denial. Duration: 30 minutes. The objective of the activity is to provide learners with messages that help them encourage denial in addictions. Step 1. Divide your learners into groups. Step 2. Ask them to review the previous sub-chapter, denial. Step 3. Distribute the patterns of denial among the groups. For each pattern, groups should write some messages for talking to addicts in denial. Step 4. Ask each group to present their messages and reflect on their answers. The Problematic Internet Use Questionnaire, PIUQ. The Problematic Internet Use Questionnaire is used to evaluate the extent of problems caused by the misuse of the Internet. It is based on 3 main factors. Figure 7. The 3 main factors underlying the Problematic Internet Use Questionnaire. Own creation. Source: Demetrovics Z, Seredi B, Rosa S. The 3-factor model of Internet addiction. The development of the Problematic Internet Use Questionnaire. Behavres methods. May 2008. Chart 2. Av 6374. Dewey 103758 BRM 402563 PMID 18522068. Obsession with online activities. Neglecting non-internet activities. Control disorder. Start the test. Please answer the following questions by indicating how frequently you encounter each situation using the terms never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. How often do you fantasize about the internet, or think about what it would be like to be online when you are not on the internet? How often do you neglect household chores to spend more time online? How often do you feel that you should decrease the amount of time spent online? How often do you daydream about the internet? How often do you spend time online when you would rather sleep? How often does it happen to you that you wish to decrease the amount of time spent online, but you do not succeed? How often do you feel tense, irritated, or stressed if you cannot use the internet for as long as you want to? How often do you choose the internet rather than being with your partner? How often do you try to conceal the amount of time spent online? How often do you feel tense, irritated, or stressed if you cannot use the internet for several days? How often does the use of internet impair your work or your efficacy? How often do you feel that your internet usage causes problems for you? How often does it happen to you that you feel depressed, moody, or nervous when you are not on the internet? And these feelings stop once you are back online. How often do people in your life complain about spending too much time online? How often do you realize saying when you are online, "Just a couple of more minutes and I will stop"? How often do you dream about the internet? How often do you choose the internet rather than going out with somebody to have some fun? How often do you think that you should ask for help in relation to your internet use? How to assess your score? Evaluate the level of frequency of each question as follows: never, 1 point; rarely, 2 points; sometimes, 3 points; often, 4 points; always, 5 points. Calculate the total score of all the 18 questions. You will obtain from 18 to 90 points. If your total score ranges from 41 to 90 points, you are considered to be at risk of problematic internet use. If you would like to help with our further research in this topic, please send your score to the administrator of the real community through a private message. To get information on how to join this community, consult the sub-chapter, Tools Useful for the Detox Process. The Digital Distraction Test. The Digital Distraction Test, developed by Dr. David Greenfield, is a straightforward quiz crafted to help individuals determine if they are experiencing digital distraction. It is composed by 12 easy questions. It evaluates if your interaction with digital devices has reached a level to seek assistance in managing your digital consumption. By taking few minutes to complete this test, you will gain clarity if you get distracted easily by your digital devices. This could help you to benefit from periodically disconnecting from the online world, to engage more meaningfully with the real world around you. Start the test. Dr. David Greenfield's website included this test in an easy way. Click on the following link to have access to it and complete all its questions. https://drdavidgreenfield.com/connected. How to assess your score. Evaluate each question. Yes, 1 point. No, 0 points. Calculate the total score of your questions. If you have more than 3 points, this could be a sign that a digital detox might be good for you. Internet addiction in Europe. In 2022, 96% of youngsters in Europe, whose ages ranged in 16 to 29 years old, reported using the internet every day, compared with 84% of adults. According to the study, EU Kids Online, children and young people use different devices, being smartphones the most preferred means of getting connected in Europe. In addition to the mobile phone, the devices that were used frequently in certain countries were: game consoles were more used in Spain and Malta. Computers were preferred in Lithuania, Croatia, and Malta. Tablets were more popular in Spain and France. Smart TVs were preferred in Spain. Figure 8. Daily use of different devices by country. Source: Smahel, D. Machakova, H. Mascheroni, G. Dedkova, L. Starksrud, E. Olafsson, K. Livingston, S. and Hazebrink, U. EU Kids Online. 2020. Survey results from 19 countries. EU Kids Online 2020. https doi.org.10 221953 LSE 47FDQ 01 WEFO. In all of the countries, an average of 57% of youngsters reported using their smartphones several times each day or all the time. Figure 9. Frequency of using a smartphone to access the internet by country. Source: Smahel, D. Makakova, H. Mascheroni, G. Dedkova, L. Starksrud, E. Olafsson, K. Livingstone, S. and Hazebrink, U. EU Kids Online 2020. Survey results from 19 countries. EU Kids Online 2020. https doi.org.10 21953 LSE 47 EDI Q0 OFO. Furthermore, this study conducted an analysis of the excessive internet use of teens and identified different warning criteria of using it in a compulsive way, where the following countries ranked in the first positions. I have gone without eating or sleeping because of the internet. Romania 11%, Malta 6%, and Poland 6%. I have felt bothered when I cannot be on the internet. Croatia 19%, and Poland 17%. I have caught myself using the internet, although I'm not really interested. Poland 16%, Estonia 15%, Croatia 15%, Flanders 15%, and Portugal 15%. I have spent less time than I should with either family, friends, or doing schoolwork because of the time I spent on the internet. Flanders, 21%, Malta, 19%, and France, 19%. I have tried unsuccessfully to spend less time on the internet. Malta, 20%, and Flanders, 18%. Figure 10. Excessive internet use. Children aged 12 and 16 who answered at least weekly or daily. Source: Smahel, D. Mashakova, H. Masharoni, G. Detkova, L. Staksrud, E. Olafsson, K. Livingston, S. and Hazebrink, U. EU Kids Online 2020. Survey results from 19 countries. EU Kids Online 2020. https doi.org Tastum 21953 LC 47F QI0 OFO. On the other hand, the European Parliament resolution of 12th of December 2023, related to addictive design of online services and consumer protection in the EU single market, was conducted under the main situation that is happening in Europe. Some of the key aspects are, on average, youngsters aged 16 to 24 use the internet for more than 7 hours per day. 25% of youngsters and children display problematic smartphone use, meaning behavioral patterns mirroring addiction. Research suggests there is an increase regarding the problematic use of smartphones. Children use it frequently during the whole day, disconnecting from social media in rare occasions. Without their mobile phones, they feel insecure. Additionally, research suggests that social media pressure is one of the top 5 factors contributing to children's mental health issues. The growth in mental health problems among youngsters might have a relationship with the excessive usage of social media. Younger people are more susceptible to hazardous behaviors and the psychopathological developments. Digital media heavy users are twice as likely to develop problems related to their mental health, including risk factors of self-harm and suicide. Youngsters and children are more susceptible to these symptoms. Compared to boys, teenage girls spend more time online, on social media, cell phones, and texting. Boys generally use electronics devices and games for longer periods of time. In comparison to boys, females exhibit a higher correlation between screen time and poor mental health. Girls have over twice as likely as boys in developing important levels of depressive symptoms. Certain digital services, user interfaces exploit psychological weaknesses that are comparable to those seen in gambling addictions. They purposely manipulate users' vulnerabilities through addictive design elements, causing them to spend far more time on programs than they meant to. If these situations change, having more connections in the real world, we will have benefits in our society. The Parliament's resolution shares that the happiest teenagers are often those that use internet communications in few amounts of time. People's well-being significantly improves when they give up social media use for a week. Video games addiction test. The 10-item Internet Gaming Disorder Test, also known as IGDT-10, is a recognized tool around the world that was developed to evaluate the presence of this behavior. This questionnaire was defined according to the criteria outlined in the 5th edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5. Start the test. Please review the following statements. Please consider that the questions refer to online games. When you see the terms game and gaming, indicate how frequently these statements have applied to you over the past 12 months. Use the terms never, sometimes, often. When you were not playing, how often have you fantasized about gaming, thought of previous gaming sessions, and/or anticipated the next game? How often have you felt restless, irritable, anxious, and/or sad when you were unable to play or played less than usual? Have you ever felt the need to play more often, or played for longer periods to feel that you have played enough? Have you ever unsuccessfully tried to reduce the time spent on gaming? Have you ever played games rather than meet your friends or participate in hobbies and pastimes that you used to enjoy before? Have you played a lot despite negative consequences? For instance, losing sleep, not being able to do well in school or work, having arguments with your family or friends, and/or neglecting important duties. Have you tried to keep your family, friends, or other important people from knowing how much you were gaming? Or have you lied to them regarding your gaming? Have you played to relieve a negative mood? For instance, helplessness, guilt, or anxiety. Have you risked or lost a significant relationship because of gaming? Have you ever jeopardized your school or work performance because of gaming? How to assess your score. Evaluate the level of frequency of each question as follows. Never 0 points. Sometimes 0 points. Often 1 point. Questions 9 and 10 are part of the same criterion. Therefore, if you answer often to either item 9, item 10, or both, it will count as only 1 point. Calculate the total score of 10 questions. If your total score is over 5 points, you are considered to be at risk of experiencing an internet gaming disorder. If you would like to help with our further research in this topic, please send your score to the administrator of the Real community through a private message. To get information on how to join this community, consult the subchapter Tools Useful for the Detox Process. Other tests. Social Media Addiction Test. The Social Media Addiction Scale Student Form, SMAS-SF, was created by Sahin to assess the level of addictions to these media in students. This test has been validated by different organizations around the globe. Start the test. Evaluate how the following statements are related to your personal situation. Use the terms definitely not appropriate, not appropriate, undecided, appropriate, strongly appropriate. I am crazy to go on social media. I look for internet connectivity everywhere to go on social media. Going on social media is the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. I see social media as an escape from the real world. A life without social media becomes meaningless for me. I prefer to use social media even though there is somebody around me. I prefer the friendships on social media to the friendships in real life. I express myself better to the people with whom I get in contact on social media. I am as I show myself on social media. I usually prefer to communicate with people via social media. Even though my family gets angry, I cannot give up using social media. I want to spend time on social media when I am alone. I prefer virtual communication on social media to going out. Social media activities affect my everyday. I neglect my homework because I spend much time on social media. I feel bad if I have to decrease the time I spend on social media. I feel unhappy when I am not on social media. Being on social media excites me. I use social media so frequently that I come in conflict with my family, disliked by my family. The mysterious world of social media always pulls me towards itself. I do not even notice I am thirsty or hungry when I am on social media. I notice that my productivity capacity has decreased due to social media. I have physical problems because of social media use. I use social media even when walking on the road to be instantly informed about developments. I like using social media to keep myself informed about what happens. I use social media to keep myself informed about what social media groups share. I spend more time on social media to see some special announcements, e.g. birthdays. Keeping informed about the things related to my courses, e.g. homework, activities, Takes me always stay on social media. I am always active on social media to be instantly informed about what my friends and relatives share. How to assess your score? The study. Association between social media and psychological effects among adolescents. School-based cross-sectional study in Kathmandu, city of Nepal, provides the evaluation scale for each question as follows. Definitely not appropriate, 1 point. Not appropriate, 2 points. Undecided, 3 points. Appropriate, 4 points. Strongly appropriate, 5 points. Calculate the total score of all the 29 questions. You will obtain from 29 to 145 points. This study indicates that a higher score is more indicative of the person being a social media addict. Figure 11. The social media addiction scale, student form, graph. Own creation. Source. The figure was created under our own interpretation based on the sentence. A higher score is more indicative of the person being a social media addict by Podell A.K., Chetri M.R., Baidia P. Association between social media and psychological effects among adolescents. School-based cross-sectional study in Kathmandu, city of Nepal. Journal of Chitwan Medical College, 2023. 34 63 9. Image. Conjunto de velocímetro. Designed by Drawing My Diary. freepic.com. Please also note in which of the questions you had a higher score, as each of them are grouped in 4 dimensions. Questions 1 to 5. Virtual tolerance. Questions 6 to 14. Virtual communication. Questions 15, 23. Virtual problem subdimension. Questions 24, 29. Virtual information. If you would like to help with our further research in this topic, please send your score to the administrator of the real community through a private message. To get information on how to join this community, consult the sub-chapter, Tools Useful for the Detox Process. Porn Addiction Test. Affirmative sex addiction. Australia was founded to inform people in an accurate way regarding compulsive sexual behavior disorder. They provide a free test that helps individuals to determine if they are addicted to pornography and/or internet sex. Through this quiz, you can gain insights into your tendencies, which may indicate a potential addiction or being at high risk. Start the test. Answer the following questions with a yes or no. Is watching pornography a regular part of your life? Do you spend more time than intended with watching pornography? Does your habit of using online porn interfere with you meeting your daily demands? Do you mostly masturbate to porn? Do you pursue online chat rooms to live out your pornography-induced fantasies with like-minded others? Do you desire to meet your online sex partners in private to have actual sex? Do you bookmark pornographic or other sites containing sexual content on your computer? Do you collect pornographic downloads on your computer? Do you interrupt work routines, daily routines to watch porn? Do you feel an urge for watching porn when you become stressed, angry, confused, or overwhelmed? Do you use applications to access dating sites faster? Do you maintain a personal profile on any sex dating site? Do you use pornography when you are feeling bored, low, or depressed? Is pornography causing distress in your life? Do you find you cannot stop yourself from compulsive masturbation with or without porn? Do you feel the need to hide your porn behavior from your partner or friends? Do you worry your partner will leave you if she discovers your secret sex life? Did you try to quit porn and failed due to overwhelming cravings? Are you very excited before your sexual acting out and regret it afterwards? Do you miss out on sleep and self-care? because you stay up late to engage in porn and online sex chat rooms? Do you believe your real-life partner should perform sex with you as seen in porn movies? Do you believe your life would be dull and boring without lots of pornography? Did you start out watching porn for fun or satisfying a curiosity, and you find yourself now in a position unable to stop? Are you doubtful about your pornography consumption, but justify your behavior as normal with everybody does it? How to assess your score? Evaluate each question as follows. Yes, 1 point. No, 0 points. Calculate the total score of the 24 questions. If your score is above 12 points, there is a high possibility that you have an addiction to porn or internet sex. If you would like to help with our further research in this topic, please send your score to the administrator of the Real Community through a private message. To get information on how to join this community, consult the subchapter Tools Useful for the Detox Process. Quiz. 1. Which are some examples of denial patterns? A. Absolute denial, avoidance, manipulation. B. Not being responsible, avoidance, blaming. C. Hiding behaviors, rationalizing, comparing. D. Denial patterns do not exist. Correct answer, A. 2. What are the main components of the cycle of addictions? A. Happiness and sadness. B. Online consumption, shame, guilt and remorse, promising to stop, fantasizing, obsessing about PUI or other behaviors, frustration. C. Fun moments online to bad moments on the real world. D. Happiness, bad moments, quitting, relapse. Correct answer, B. 3. What can be assessed with the puke? A. The time spent in social media. B. The extent of problems caused by the misuse of the internet. C. The level of management of daily responsibilities. D. The addiction to pornography. Correct answer, B. 4. What can be assessed with the IGDT-10? A. The time spent in social media. B. The extent of problems caused by the misuse of the internet. C. The presence of internet gaming disorders. D. The addiction to pornography. Correct answer, C. 5. What can be assessed with the SMAS-SF? A. The presence of addiction to social media. B. The extent of problems caused by the misuse of the internet. C. The presence of internet gaming disorders. D. The addiction to pornography. Correct answer, A. 6. Which of the following is not a warning sign of PUI? A. Inability to control the behavior. B. Continuation and escalation despite the negative consequences. C. Balance with all aspects of life. D. Tolerance. Correct answer, C. 7. Is a sign of data hoarding. A. Delete all spam. B. Happiness while cleaning their files. C. Having only one version of the same file. D. Excessive storage use. Correct answer, D. 8. Is an example of comparing denial. A. I agree, I watch porn, but I'm not like Steve who spends hours in porn websites. B. I will reduce my hours online, but only because you are pressuring me. It's not because I have a problem. C. If you remove my online accounts, I will leave. D. I feel better. I will skip my next counseling session. Correct answer, A. 9. According to the study, EU Kids Online 2020, which was the device most used by teens? A. Computer. B. Smartphones. C. Wearables. D. Tablets. Correct answer, B. 10. According to the Parliament's resolution, the happiest teenagers are often those that A. Use internet communications in few amounts of time. B. Are the most popular in social media. C. upload the best pictures? D. Are influencers? Correct answer A.